Yeah, he's up there.
Hey, Lawrence.
You did, you got called up. No, I didn't see anybody up there.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for being here this morning. This is a kickoff, if you will, and it's great to see all of our partners here. I've got some prepared remarks, and I will go directly into those, and then we've got a number of speakers that will speak to the issue more directly from their various perspectives. Violence is a problem in our community, and we've called this press conference today to share with the citizens of Leon County what we collectively are going to do about this problem. Let me make it abundantly clear at the very outset that this press conference, I hope it's clear at the end of the day that law enforcement alone is not enough, and enforcement alone will not reduce the violence we see occurring in Leon County. So today we kick off our ALLin LEON initiative. ALLin LEON has 4 prongs to our approach to addressing our problem. Those 4 prongs are prevention, enforcement, reentry, and most importantly, community involvement. All of the reliable data collected and reported in the ALLin report. The ALLin report refers to populations in our community that are asset limited, income constrained, employed. Also, we have information from over the last 5 years in our Children's Summit, as well as information over the last several years from all of our law enforcement partners in and around Leon County. Each of these prongs are vital to the goals of reducing violence in Leon County. No one prong can succeed without the other. Our ALLin LEON is a collaborative cooperation of people and organizations choosing to work together for the good of Leon County to reverse the violence issues that we now face. After carefully evaluating reliable data and using that data in proven ways, ALLin LEON will incorporate best evidence-based practices and strategies to address specific root causes of violence in Leon County. By using these practices, we will work to prevent what we can prevent, provide genuine help to those who re-enter our community after serving their time in our detention facility or state prisons. In an effort to keep persons released from incarceration from being caught in the revolving door of recidivism, law enforcement will work with our community partners to create a process that will drive prevention efforts using the public health model. And finally, we will utilize all of our collective law enforcement resources to identify and deal with people in our community who continue to commit violent crimes, are involved in drug-related crimes, burglaries, car thefts. Our message to the citizens of Leon County is this: violence will not be tolerated. And to those persons who are involved in crime, you have the opportunity, if you so desire, to turn your life around. As it relates to guns, we will be working with our U.S. attorneys, Assistant U.S. Attorney General of the Northern District of Florida, and special agents from ATF, that is, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, to focus and target those persons who unlawfully use guns to commit crimes in Leon County. We have labeled this effort the Ceasefire Initiative. In addition to those efforts, we will once again request the assistance of the Florida Highway Patrol interdiction teams to support our street-level crimes and violence for the next several months. As reported last week, we will be working with the Tallahassee Police Department, Gaston County Sheriff's Office, McCullough County Sheriff's Office, DEA, and other law enforcement and judicial agencies to address group crimes. We are specifically focused on addressing individuals and groups willing to shoot each other in our community. And the way we plan to address those issues are based on these following goals. Goal number one in our ALLin initiative is reduce the number of shootings in Leon County. Secondly, reduce the number of robberies in Leon County. Increase the number of firearms recovered. Reduce the number of firearms stolen. A reduction in the number of homicides 2018 to 2019. Our community goals are as follows. Using the Cure Violence model, the Tallahassee Peacemakers, a group of citizens, some formerly incarcerated citizens, with a mission directed at 75 youth of our community, our young adults, and moving them away from a life of crime. Secondly, working with the Leon County reentry efforts. 25 local businesses will be aligned for their business hiring practices to assist with jobs for persons returning to Leon County and our troubled youth. Third, 50 local religious organizations will become members of the Leon County Worship With Me campaign, a campaign directed at faith-based organizations with the goal of 2 families per church working with troubled youth. Developing partnerships with 20 businesses to support Crime Stoppers tip line, with ongoing financial help for Leon County Sheriff's Office and the Tallahassee Police Department for follow-ups to criminal investigations, specifically criminal investigations involving guns, I spoke this morning with Marion Hammer of the NRA, and the NRA pledges their support to this effort, and she advises that they support this initiative and any initiative that removes guns from the hands of criminals. The Leon County Sheriff's Office Back on Track initiative, an initiative where we will seek to help some 100 at-risk youth identified by the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice to turn their lives around. We will also partner with Lively Technical Center, Career Source, and the Capital Region, and others to develop a career path for at least 20 citizens returning to our community from the Leon County Detention Facility. Those career paths includes culinary, barbering, nail specialist, and with the goal of expansion by September 2019. And finally, we will engage some 10 or fewer Leon County school students who may participate in lethal and violent behavior using the Smart Justice Initiative and enhanced case management and coordination by May of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the outline, the goals and objectives that the Leon County Sheriff's Office and our partners, and I can't emphasize enough, our partners have worked out in terms of how we're going to reduce gun violence in our community. ALLin LEON speaks to all of us working on this problem. As I said at the very outset, it is not a law enforcement problem that can be solved by law enforcement, but it will take each and every one of us working diligently to make sure we do our part to drive the violence out of our community. And with that, I'll ask our attorney, Jack Campbell, followed by Pastor Anton Elwood, followed by our U.S. Attorney, Keith, and followed by Jay Reeves and Christy Henry, in that order.
Good morning. We have all chosen to live in Tallahassee. Many of us for generations have decided that this is where we are going to raise our children. And as we come together, I think that it's important that the community sees that each of the men and women standing with me, standing behind me, and standing with each of us is committed to making this a safe place for our families, a safe community for our co-workers, and the Tallahassee and Leon County that we always knew it could be. I've been asked to speak on the issue of enforcement, and I think it's important while we're all going to come together and try to be collaborative and look at the entire issues, we're going to be trying to reach these people in our schools through the leadership of Superintendent Handa. We're going to be trying to reach through the faith community and try to reach to take these youth to church. But have no doubt that we have not lost our conviction that when wolves come to our house, we will protect these innocent sheep. I am pleased already this morning I've had an opportunity to speak with our U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Florida, Mr. Keith. I'm glad he is standing with us today. But to be clear, those who are using guns, those who are deciding to solve conflicts, they will be given every opportunity to go a different path, but those that want to bring violence, even this morning, and break into houses and shoot people, we are going to cull them from our number. That's going to mean that juveniles or adults who are shooting people are going to feel the full weight of the prosecution of this office, of the U.S. Attorney's Office. That means that each of the uniforms you see behind me are meeting weekly to identify the key aggressors against our community. And let me make it clear to those criminals, we are going to target you and we're going to remove you from our midst. That is the enforcement. Nothing said today should make anyone feel that we are going soft on crime. It is only going to be through the efforts to enforce the law and separate those who wish to do better. We're going to give you the opportunity. But to those who would victimize our churches, our schools, our very homes, we will take action and justice will be swift. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good morning to Sheriff McNeil and to all who are present. It has been said that if you are not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. This community, like so many others around the nation, simply need us to do our part in filling the gaps that are necessary. Initiatives like the Worship With Me pilot program is one that I, for one, believe can make a strong impact in this community. Let's be honest, worship and church attendance is a major part in our community. Our belief system drives who we are every day, and we very simply cannot deny that our spiritual foundations play a major factor in the mission statement for our lives. I personally am unapologetically Christian, I do, however, feel that there is value in all of the world religions. Discipline, honor, respect, morality, and giving are all virtues that exist within the many faith traditions of this world and surely will benefit our community in a major way. With the data and the research supporting the fact that youth who attend at least 1 hour of worship weekly significantly decreases their chances of illegal activity and increases their chances of academic success, I feel that worship centers in this community need to sign up and be a part of this calculated effort. Let me also be clear that the Worship With Me effort does not demean what's already being done. Pastors like Pastor Greg James, Dr. R.B. Holmes, Pastor Thomas Colbert, Pastor Rudy Ferguson, and many others around this community are doing a Herculean job in addressing the needs of this community. This effort is one that adds to the fight to make sure that we can do what needs to be done. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Sheriff, for inviting us here. Thank you to the citizens of Tallahassee. I'm Dr. Jay Reeve. I'm the CEO of Appalachia Center and the chair of the Mental Health Council of the Big Bend. We are in an epidemic in this state and in this country, and it is an epidemic of mental illness. The numbers of individuals who have required emergency care for life-threatening mental health conditions has risen exponentially year after year in this community, and a large proportion of those folks come to us and to our facilities by way of law enforcement. 2 years ago, Sheriff McNeil approached me about starting an effort to ensure that individuals who intersected with the criminal justice system could receive the mental health and behavioral health treatment they need. Since that time, we have put counselors and case managers into the detention facility. We have put telemedicine in the detention facility, and we are poised to begin a full-time effort in the detention facility and in the courts, as we have in the Kearney Center, as we have and soon will at Bethel, as we have on the South Side. We are supported in these efforts by Sheriff McNeil, by Mike Watkins, the CEO of Big Bend Community-Based Care, who is one of our major funders, and by everyone in Leon County Commission and the City of Tallahassee. But our partnership with law enforcement is particularly crucial, because this is where the intersection between mental health and mental illness and law enforcement and crime can result in injury, mostly to the individuals who are suffering from the illnesses, but also to folks in the community. We are committed to make sure that folks who need treatment can get treatment and that they can get it where they are. We are committed to this effort. Appalachia Center and the mental health community of this region are all in.
Could the Tallahassee Peacemakers please come on stage? As they come up, I want you to give them a round of applause, and I'm going to tell you why. On this stage, since February the 15th, you see 20 hours a week times 25 men on the street level. You see 140 hours over the last 3 months and 2 weeks where they have literally been on the street de-escalating crime, meaning that they have caught it before it occurs. The Tallahassee Peacemakers Initiative is proud to stand here with our sheriff, who believes in a holistic approach to law enforcement and community empowerment. And so to that end, we join in major cities like Los Angeles and Buffalo, New York, and Arlington, Virginia, and many of the other cities in LA, Los Angeles, California, other cities, Sacramento, Oakland, California, who have engaged citizens on the neighborhood grassroots level to engage with families to prevent instances of violence. And they have been effective to the tune of, within the hot zones that we cover, which are on the north side, Frenchtown, south side, Highway 20, going out to Sunshine Mobile Homes off of Ridge Road. These gentlemen have covered that territory and have de-escalated crime to the tunes of 20 days without an occurrence of shooting within those communities. So let me introduce our leadership of this team, the Tallahassee Peacemakers. We have Brother Al Batts, who is our street team advocate coordinator. We have, of course, Pastor Gregory James, who's worked with our administration and helps with our advocacy on the street level. When we get young men who say and identify they want to work with us, they call Pastor James if they have a probation issue or if they have a bond issue. We're already working. And, of course, Corey Fuller, who's Corey here? Corey Fuller and others, Gary McPherson at Rickards High, who have worked with us to find ways to integrate this efforts on the Leon County schools level so that we can reach children who may be engaged in activity prior to incident. And make no mistake, the goal of this initiative is to de-escalate crime, period. Martin Luther King said it best, and I was reminded by my friend Leroy Peck, the president of CONA, that the opposite of violence is not nonviolence. The opposite of violence is peace. And our job and our goal is to create peace in these streets, and that comes through access and opportunity for these citizens to engage in educational opportunities, employment opportunity, and any kind of opportunity our community has available to them. So that is the role and the goal of this initiative. I applaud and highly esteem every single one of these gentlemen. We will have at the end of this initiative no less than 75 ex-offenders and ex-felons engaged and empowered and activated on the community level. We will reach over 250 youth within our communities, and we will hold events that listen to the citizens and hear their needs and respond in kind. So we invite you to join us as this citizen movement takes root and moves forward. And we thank the sheriff and the sheriff's department and Chief Audrey and Shonda and all the folks that have been so helpful and supplemental in ensuring that we are able to engage with law enforcement to create a difference on the street level. And also, let me not forget our attorney, Mutaki Akbar. All right, thank you.
Not on the program, but I believe it is important that we hear from our superintendent, followed by Reverend Holmes. And Reverend Holmes, if you would, close us out with a prayer.
Well, this was unexpected. I just came here to support the sheriff, and there is no doubt we have the right man, the right place, at the right time here in Tallahassee and Leon County. And like Mr. Campbell, I'm a lifelong resident of Tallahassee and Leon County, and it breaks my heart to see the newspaper in the morning and watch the news broadcasts late at night to see what's happened. And it's about time that we come together and stand up and say enough is enough. And whatever I can do as superintendent of Leon County Schools to engage with Christique and the sheriff and the chief. I don't play Texas Hold'em, but I like to watch it. So I love that all-in theory. My problem is usually when I go all in, I go all broke. But with this all in, Leon County Schools is all in. So God bless you, Sheriff, and thank you for doing this.
Let me commend law enforcement, the sheriff, for this vision. I think there are many components to trying to resolve the crime and shooting issue in this great community. I'm just encouraging all of our political leaders, all of our faith-based leaders to kind of work with this initiative. I heard the sheriff mention that also the Tallahassee Police Department This is going to take a holistic movement. This is going to take all of us singing from the same page. We cannot be divided. We got to come together. And I want to thank all of you in law enforcement, faith-based. We got to come together. And I think this is the initiative, this is the model that Sheriff McNeil has rolled out that will literally, not figuratively, reduce crime in our community. So I'm asking our politicians, law enforcement, faith community, the business community, let's all rally together around this initiative. Let us all be in on this. If we're in on this, I guarantee you that this community will see great change under this kind of mandate and model. So Sheriff, thank you. We're all in. Let us pray together. Lord, because we're all in, there's nothing impossible. Because we are all in, we will see crime coming down. Because we're all in, we have hope and faith and peace and purpose. Because we're all in, this is one Tallahassee, one Leon County. We are not divided. We are united because we're all in. And let everyone know that this community is going to be one of the safest communities to live in this country, in this state. So Lord, bless this effort, smile upon this effort, and keep us together in the spirit of peace, unity, and harmony is our prayer. Amen and amen.
Thank you. And I was remiss, I did not give our U.S. Attorney an opportunity to come and speak. And if you would now.
I'll be very brief. Your United States Department of Justice, your United States Attorney's Office, we are all in on this gun violence problem. We are all in with our state and local law enforcement agency partners on this. The United States of America is switched on and fully engaged with this problem. And Sheriff, I'm available to you 24/7, anytime, any place you need me to be to help fight this problem. Thank you.
And before I take questions, let me introduce the Leon County Sheriff's Office has a Citizens Advisory Committee, and the chairperson of that committee is none other than Darrell. Come on, say a few words.
I'm delighted to represent the men and women who constitute the Leon County Sheriff's Citizen Advisory Committee. When the sheriff was first elected, he convened us together, persons coming from disparate backgrounds and perspectives, all in an effort to inform what would be his goals, his activity, and most importantly, his engagement with our community. He realized that law enforcement was more than just policing the street and jailing criminals, but it was about having those types of preventive efforts to make certain that our children, returning adults from incarceration, had great opportunity in our community. He's been an important part of conversations across the width and expanse of our community, and because of that, we are indeed all in. Congratulations, Sheriff.
All right, before we conclude, any questions from the media? Hearing none, in the tradition of the Leon County Sheriff's Office, if we conclude all of our meetings and gatherings, we end by all in. All in. Thank you all.